The wife of a Roswell police sergeant facing domestic violence charges says a haunting memory of a gruesome murder scene has driven her husband to alcoholism and physical abuse. We're talking about Sergeant Chad Harris, shown here during a court appearance after he allegedly hit his wife on Thanksgiving. He's assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division at the Roswell Police Department. Harris was part of the investigation into the brutal slayings of Natalie Henderson and Carter Davis, two teenagers found shot to death behind a Publix grocery store in August of 2016. Now, another teenager, Jeffrey Hazelwood, later pleaded guilty to those killings. But ever since working that case, Chad Harris's wife says her husband has been drinking heavily and getting physical with her. So we decided to look into the phenomenon of police with PTSD, and Ryan Kruger's here with that story. And Ryan, you've really uncovered some troubling statistics here.
Yeah, in fact, Vinny, one therapist actually told me police, first responders, they're often the ones who need PTSD counseling the most, and yet they're some of the least likely to seek it out. Take a look at these sobering statistics I found. Now, according to multiple reports out there, 19%, that's nearly 1/5 of all police officers have some sort of PTSD-like symptoms. And to make matters worse, according to the group Badge of Life, more than 1,400 police officers have committed suicide in the last decade. PTSD, according to that group, is the most common contributor. So what kind of help is out there? Earlier this evening, I spoke with Vincent Hill. He's a former police officer and a private investigator. He's worked some horrific crime scenes, and I asked him, how did the trauma on the job affect him off the job?
You see a lot in policing, right? You see people being abused, you see kids being abused, you see kids killed, you see adults killed. So there's a lot, that I wish I could forget, but I don't think I ever will.
Are there any scenes that still to this day kind of haunt you?
There's several scenes that still haunt me. There's one scene I remember to this day where a 16-year-old hung himself in his backyard because he had a C on his report card. You have to take emotion out of these scenes and work them as a crime scene.
When you go home at the end of the night and you've seen some horrible traumas, how do you deal with that mentally?
Well, unfortunately, I started out a lot like this Roswell officer. Alcohol. Police are human. A lot of people don't realize that, right? We're not above the law. We have emotions. Police are human, and we're going to make mistakes because human emotion takes over first. Before any training, before any job, human emotion takes over first.
What would you say to officers and to families?
For family members, I would say, hey, if you see a pattern, if you see something going wrong, urge them to get help. There is help for police. When I was on the department, they had, counselors readily available for free, but none of us went to them because, if you do, you're kind of looked upon like, yeah, you're not really a tough guy. And you also have to think a lot of people assume they may be pulled off duty. After the alcohol, what do? So I had to find a different outlet, like the gym. Even to this day, there's still things in my mind I remember, and I may just go run Stone Mountain and just go to the top of that and clear my mind. That's how you have to do it.
And Sergeant Chad Harris is out on bond tonight, but he could not be reached for comment for this story. We're told he is on paid leave from the Roswell Police Department.
And Ryan, part of these stories we cover each and every day, that's the part you don't think about, but yeah. What an incredible impact. Ryan, great work tonight. Appreciate it.